Welcome to the Gabfest.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
How you doing?
How you doing?
Huh?
Are you asking me or are you asking them?
I'm asking you.
I am very good. Hey, I'm not even gonna lie. I think since yesterday I've just been so excited. I don't know if it's like the year end, like excitement, festive season, that type of vibe. But I'm so excited. And when it was on Thursday, that was yesterday. I walked in, I'm like, you're getting blessed, you're getting blessed, you're getting blessed. Because I just feel something like exciting in the air. So I'm super excited. Like I'm expectant. I don't know what it is. I haven't heard anything. I'm just expecting something. So yeah, I'm super excited. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. I'm at that, end of the year. I'm ready for holiday now. I'm ready not to wake up early to get the kids done. I'm ready for, if you want to sit
we still have
and
2
watch
weeks of
TV,
that, though.
you can watch TV. It's fine. You don't have to bath right now. I'm just longing that moment. Because weekends have been so hectic as well that you don't get the chance to relax.
It just feels like you're still in the motion. You're still getting things done. Like, the past, I think 2 months have just been on a roll. Like,
No,
every
really.
weekend
And let's be
something's
honest, if
happening.
you go to church, Sundays is not a relaxing day because you have to get up so early.
Yeah, like, we don't get that. Like, and there's no such thing as no church in our house. It's just like, so it's like literally we work from Sunday to Friday, and then Sunday on a Saturday we have something going on as well. So it's like,
Yeah, it just always feels like last Saturday you made me wake up so early.
who's this
but
now? I don't know what you're talking about. This
Okay.
witchcraft going on here.
It's like,
We had a good day,
I'm
didn't
just
we?
at the point of I need to just.
But we had a good day, didn't we? Well,
Yeah.
sort of. Like,
It was a good day, a hungry day, but a good day.
it was a hungry day.
But a good day. But yeah, how you guys doing out there? How's end of the year feeling? We on the 2nd of December, nah?
We are.
Are you guys feeling like
On
I
the second day
can't
of
wait.
holiday, technically.
Yeah, I can't wait for festive. Well, it is festive, but I mean, that specific weekend of Christmas, because not everybody gets off during December.
Not everyone gets off, but strangely, like towards the end of November, it's like people go into silly mode. Like things are just relaxed. Because even driving in the mornings, there's no traffic. And I thought, am I being weird? Is there really school? Am I missing something? Did I miss
No,
something?
I'm grateful for school right now. I don't want to wake up early, but I'm grateful for the quiet morning, if I can put it that way.
Yeah.
Because a lot of kids are at home already, but we still have 2 weeks of school. So I'm extremely grateful for that.
We do still have 2 weeks of school. I am grateful for it in the morning, but I don't mind having my kids around because they're at the stage. It's just Taya's at the stage where she terrorizes the daylights out of her sister, because all her sister wants to do, she's like a little teenager. She just wants to sit and watch TV or whatever. And Taya wants to play. So she's, Ava doesn't want to play with me. Ava, and then she goes on into the screaming mode. I'm like, my guy, did you not read the room? We're in
No,
a
I don't
relaxed
mind
mood.
having the kids at home either, but if school's only opening that late in January, I'll
by the
take
way,
the extra.
When is school opening?
Well, you'll see. You never read your messages,
No, I
but
don't.
anyway.
I don't.
So today
I ask Vange.
we are discussing. Yeah, I'm your mom when it comes to school information.
I'm happy for the
Your
acknowledgement.
newsletter. She's always like, "Did you know?" I'm like,
I've been knowing, which is why you're my go-to.
So today we are speaking about the good and the bad of 2022. Jess was supposed to be here today. I'm so sad.
So
She phoned this
that's
morning.
a bad for 2022.
Yeah, bad for 2022. She phoned this morning and something that she recorded had to be re-recorded. And unfortunately, the time is the exact time the show finishes. So she said had it been a half an hour or something, she would have rushed through. But there's no way she'll make it to recording on time.
And knowing us, the likelihood that we'll finish on time is 0 to none. So,
But yeah, we're still always excited to have her. But we'll see.
well, we look forward to 2023. So there's going to be new and exciting stuff in 2023. So we're not too sad. It's not actually going away completely.
Yeah, no, I just mean like for today.
Yeah.
But then today we are speaking about the good and the bad of 2022. Okay, so I did ask everybody to give their topics. Well, I didn't think to ask Jess to give hers, seeing that she's not here. We could have discussed it a bit. But I did ask, can you give one negative thing that happened in 2022 and one positive thing, whether a personal experience, whether something that happened in the news, whether something that happened, wherever it may be. And anybody watching, if you want us to jump into anything you think was terrible or really good, please share that with us. we will be very happy to discuss and put in your 10 cents in today's show. So, Anks, do you wanna go forth and 2022, guys?
Not really, but
Finally,
here we
no
are.
masks.
That was a highlight. That was a highlight. I'm not even going to lie. And I think the biggest highlight of this whole COVID thing was that we did not have to take PCR anymore to travel to Namibia, which is considered international. So for me, that was a really big up when I had to go back to Namibia in October. It was like normal, like back in the day where just book a flight, board the flight, land, and just be normal. And it really felt good to travel that way. However, it was a bittersweet trip for me. So that is a high and a low for me. But to go back to your question, yeah, 2022 has been like a humdrum here. It's like everything was it just rolled into one. Like till now, I can't even fathom the fact that we're at the end of the year. Like
Yeah, it went super fast this year.
It really went super fast, and there was a lot that we as a family that we were dealing with. So every time you just get out of something, then you get hit with another one. So you just like try to swim, and you try to swim, and you're like. And it really took some thinking for me to think what was really good about this year. But however, I did learn a few things out of my lows, right? When dealing with people. I think for me, it's like be wary of everyone.
So is this your negative?
This is my negative.
Okay,
of
what is it? First, tell us what it is, because you're already telling us how dealing about
I
it, but we
can't- I
don't even
can't
know
really
what
disclose
it is.
because I can't really disclose it. It's more like a trust factor when you trust someone and they just blindside you basically, and it becomes a matter of where you can't exclude anyone, you can't exclude everyone from your life because you have trust issues, whatever. But I can't really disclose it. It's difficult. Most of the stuff I can't really disclose. I don't think I'm ready to talk about it because it was difficult to talk about. But okay, one I can talk about. Let's speak about one that I can talk about before we talk
Yeah.
about one.
That's
that
why I
I'm
gave
dealing
you
with.
prep, girl. I
I
gave
know,
you prep.
but it was so difficult. I even bounced it off of Xavier, and me and Xavier were looking at each other. We were like, do you have an answer to this one? And really, till up until the show. But one for me was going back to Namibia in October when it's the first time that I went back after my father's funeral. And it was incredibly difficult because I had to experience all the last moments for the very first time again. Where the last place my father sat, where he was sick, seeing the spaces that he was in before he was sick, what he was wearing, and experiencing those moments again. And then in the time, the house that I grew up has been revamped into a butchery. So there was an existing butchery on the property, but what they did was they fused the existing house with the actual butchery, making it basically 3 times the size. And having such a full-scale butchery was my father's dream. It just never realized in his lifetime. And I think it was beautiful to see that my mother could go on with it, obviously with the help of my uncle, but my mother could go on with it. But at the same time, it was heart-wrenching to know that my father wasn't there to be part of it himself, to be physically part of it himself, and that it was so quiet being back. And you miss all those moments, given that I've been here the past 8 years. So there's a lot of stuff. And you rethink, how would it have been if he was here in this time that I'm? Because I had to go back and renew my passport and all of that kind of stuff. But yeah, it was bittersweet. It was good to be back home with the family, to see my mother, to spend time with my brother and my sister, my mother, and then obviously the rest of the family, my nieces and nephew. But at the same time, there was an overwhelming sadness. And I think it was very good for me to go by myself and not with my kids and my husband. I think it was very good for me to go on my own and deal with and experience it. Because when I got back, I had to deal with things again that I thought I'd unpacked. But that was the low for me, and sort of like a high at the same time.
I'm happy you could choose one.
I
You could
didn't
choose
think
one.
about it. I didn't think about it.
Because when I was saying this morning, you're like, did we have to prep something? I'm like, maybe.
Hi, I did
Depends
try
what
to
you-
prep. Let's not put it in that light. I did try to prep, and I did think about it, and
No, but it makes a lot of sense.
yeah, there was a lot going on.
Yeah. So with everything. But I think that's like with death in general. When you think you overcame something, they always say it will never be forgotten. So next year will be another year. Whenever you recap all those things, it will always be something that you're constantly reminded of, especially if it's someone close to home. So it's just a matter of knowing how to take each step as it comes, that you don't drown yourself in too much sorrow more than.
Yeah, there's that aspect, and there's the aspect of realizing that still have a family around you. I still have my husband, I have my kids, I have my mom, and you don't want to overshadow. You don't want to overshadow all the memories that can still be made, And a lot of the stuff was so difficult for me because till this day, this like yesterday, I had to throw out something that my father had bought for me, but it was so dilapidated. I couldn't keep on to it. There's nothing I could do with it, and it was difficult for me to part with it. It would have been something just of sentimental value, but it would have just taken up space, and I'll never look at it again if I put it up in a cupboard somewhere. And that's what's been happening with a lot of the stuff, because my first car my father had bought for me, and the week we buried my father is the week the car gave in. And we had to let it go. We had to get it fixed, and we had to let it go after that. And it was like me letting go of so many things, because during that time we'd moved into a different house. Like in that year that my father had passed away, we had moved into a different house. So it was me sort of like, am I letting go of the memories of my father that my father made with us or whatever? And it's difficult in the sense that you have to tell yourself, no, you still have your childhood. You still have all these memories that, brought you up until this point. But you're going to have to move on at some point.
Yeah, that's something I also always say, even with having a family right now. I always say it's very important not to just live life with material things, and actually make memories that once those material things are gone, there's still that fond memory. So it's important also to, as much as I buy you this, so I buy you that, it's to actually build memories together of creating a life, or something you can look back at. That's not something like,
because the materialistic things.
Yeah.
Because the reality of the matter, things break, things weather, things have wear and tear on them. So materialistic things is really not going to. And I think it's now that Dad's family, which is my father-in-law, your father, when they come over, when the family comes over, you're more appreciative when you look at everybody else, because you feel, or family in general, you're more appreciative of spending time with them and taking actual pictures, because usually if I don't have a full face on, I won't take a picture. And the other day we were at the house, and Dad's sister, they came to come see our house for the first time, and they started taking pictures, and by this time I had ripped off everything. I had rubbed the eyes because I'm tired, but I thought to myself, take this picture now, because this moment will never be recaptured. This memory will never be recaptured. And there was beautiful moments. They were laughing, they were joking there to themselves and whatnot, but the memory can be captured. And that is something that you always keep with you.
Yeah.
So and it doesn't make it easier. It doesn't make it not easy, but it makes it easier.
Yeah.
If I can put it like that.
No, true story. Even with the thing that you were saying with pictures and photographs, I personally always have an issue with this now. If I don't take a picture now, I will never be in anybody's picture.
That's true.
And it always grates my toes, because I'm always trying to create memories for other people, but I find that I'm not surrounded with anybody who can create those memories for me.
Reciprocate.
Yeah, if I can put it that way. And that's something I just need to, but it always does bother me, but it's something that also
you need
taking
to selfies. Because I'm the designated person who is banned from taking pictures, so I wouldn't even get into that. Poor Xavier is like, can't you take
I'm
it?
not speaking about posed pictures.
Yeah.
I mean like actual. Remember, memories is not always posed pictures. Yeah. So like if you're out somewhere and there's just like a picture of everybody or certain things like that. It's always.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So that's also something that a lot of people need to look at as well, as much as we create memories, because I always say, if I was to die one day, people are going to be scrolling on my Instagram to find a picture, because nobody's taken time to actually take a picture with me. So one of those cases, or somebody dies at the age of 50 and every picture everybody has, they were 23, because nobody took
Pictures as their life
pictures.
went on.
Yeah.
And I think that was the one thing with, we used to get so irritated because my father wouldn't leave the house. He used to love to dress up, but he wouldn't leave the house without taking a picture or having someone take a picture. He'll take like 100. Then he'll post it on Facebook and he will tag the whole
Yeah,
world
I
in
was
his
always
picture.
tagged. I'm like, okay.
And he would tag, and we used to get so upset with him. But those pictures became the beautiful cachet of, we could go to treasure box, we could go to when it was his funeral to do a montage. Xavier had taken video footage, and we could clip those video footage together to make a send-off video for him. And which was our last trip that we did to Namibia. He always loved that. Now I can't get to the song. I had the song on the tip of my tongue the whole time. And he sang this Lauryn Hill song as you guys are looking for, he says in the camera, you guys are looking for me, but you can't find me anywhere. But I'm here. And he pokes his head into the camera. And we used part of that. And then he sings the song of, I think, yeah, it is Lauryn Hill. It says, why should I feel discouraged? And there's this footage we have of him walking up a sand dune, which looks like he's walking up to heaven all by himself. And you could clip those things together, but it's only possible when someone actually takes the time
Exactly.
to capture those moments.
Yeah. And many times we think I know it is up to you to create moments, but you also need to be careful who you surround yourself with to capture those moments. Because yes, it's in my mind, but like I always say, it's so funny how at someone's funeral, people have the biggest tributes on earth. But I'm sure if those people who passed away could actually hear what people are saying, they would have said, like, why didn't you give me a heads up when we were alive, kind of a thing. But anyway, Auntie Sonia says, hello, my ladies. Absolutely agree. It's not what we give to each other, but what we impart in each other. That's why I'm taking pictures every time, Lo. Yes, sorry, that's one person. Auntie Sons always sends me pictures. I can be sitting, laying in bed at 11 o'clock, and I just feel ting, 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 and there's random pictures of me.
Auntie Sons makes she makes a point, even when we have events at church or at the lounge. Then and I've even forgot, but then Auntie Sons sends the pictures, and it's like, it's a feel good moment.
But there is pictures with me and my friends that will never make it to social media. It doesn't need to go to social media.
And it's nice moments, especially with you and your friends, and you're like, three musketeers.
So okay, moving on to the next one, right? For me, my down, the bad of 2022 is not really something personal, but it's personal, but it's not personal, if that makes sense. It's something that has to do with everybody, but I take it personally, right? Okay. And I would say it's the one thing of how in 2020, it's been there, but in 2022, it has become so woke that I cannot call myself a woman anymore. And for me, I think that for me personally, it's something that really touches me in a way that I can't say I get my period. I can't say I breastfeed. I can't
you must say what? You must say you chest feed.
I chest feed, yeah.
No, I don't chest
So
feed.
anything like that, I feel like you're taking away who I am. As much as we're creating so many identities, you're taking away my identity.
Yeah.
So if I identify as a woman, why can I not say that I identify as a woman? I have to be so careful with anything.
Because you're going to be offensive to someone
because I'm going to be offensive to somebody.
To someone who is being offensive to you by denying your right.
Me. It's the same thing, sorry to bring it up, but what's the lady's name from Full House?
I just know the
Candace, her name in real life, her name is Candace something, but she's the one sister in Full House, and then in the new Fuller House, she's like the main mom. With her, you know how she does the Christmas movies and everything. So recently she just came out with a Christmas movie, you know, the Hallmark movie vibes. Mm-hmm. And she's always in those movies. And she now recently did a movie which is also the Hallmark Christmas vibes. And in her interview, she was saying it's so nice that she played a character who still believes in a traditional marriage. Mm. And this went haywire. Why am I not allowed to say I believe in a traditional marriage if you can force it down my throat and my kids' throat what a traditional marriage is not?
Yeah.
So I feel like that's about the woman side of things. And then you look at what happened now with J.K. Rowling and her saying, yeah, but a transgender is not a woman. Let's not say they have their period. And this is all coming out with that guy. I forgot his name again. Who is a man. He says he's transgender, but he hasn't had the full operation yet. But he still wears woman clothing, and his whole podcast is basically what a woman is.
The
And
irony.
the irony of it. And what gets me and grates my toes is the fact that the whole world is worshipping this. That it's gone that far that he's the ambassador for tampons.
So what exactly is he doing if he's an ambassador?
Of tampons.
Yeah,
It's a tampon brand. I don't know the
So-
name. I won't say the name, but
but in my mind, in my female mind, I am trying, in my woman mind, I am trying to figure out what is he using it for.
so I wouldn't know. Me and Lee always made this joke when we were in school and guys around us used pads, and we'd always
Guys
make
used pads when you were.
jokes. I won't say it on air, but I'll tell you afterwards
Okay.
what we thought the pads was for. But
I wasn't aware. I
But-
wasn't aware in high school, but then again, I was just under a rock.
yeah,
Anyway.
but that's mainly my biggest thing about 2022 is we've become so woke that we're not allowed to speak our truth in any form, and more so taking my identity as a woman because I need to think about everybody else's feelings, but nobody's thinking about mine.
About your feelings. And the reality of the matter is this thing where it's become a thing of my truth and your truth, and there's no such thing. There's just the truth.
Yeah.
And it's just been so skewed that now we as women, we have to feel insecure. We're not allowed to say, and that was uniquely given to us. Like there's unique traits that a man has. You know, there's things that men are good at, but breastfeeding has been uniquely given to women. You know, menstruating is uniquely given to women. So for me, I just stood on that. I didn't even think twice. I am a woman, and if you're offended by that, I'm not sure why you're offended by a fact. That's just it. That's just up to you. But I can't feel inferior or be confused because someone else is confused. And I think that was my stance this year on that.
But
specific-
this is my thing
but
that
it's
I'm
true.
saying is that how long have women fought for equal rights,
Mm-hmm,
right?
Yeah.
And the same woman that fought for equal rights is standing with this whole notion of, yeah, but we need to consider people that do identify as a woman, so don't call yourself a woman. But I'm saying is that
So
look,
where's women's rights now?
Where's women's rights now? And look what's happening already in sports.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, if a transgender comes in, they take first place and they take a gold from an actual woman, right? What's going to happen in the workplace as well? Speaking from pageant side, the amount of transgenders that's won this year in Mrs. This and This and all Miss This and This, it's a matter of, okay, so now we're taking everything. Then let's just have an open pageant, whether you're male, whether you're female, whether you want to be what you want to be, whether you're the star or whether you're a moon.
Yeah, just make it survival of the
Just
fittest
make
in
it
one pool.
In one pool. But let's not call it Miss and Mrs. And then we have all these things taken away from us when we fought so hard to get to a certain point. Do you get what I'm trying
Yep.
to say?
Yep.
Because it's far from home now, but I sent Lee something in the week as well, where in America, and you know, when something happens in America, it just filters down to the rest of the world.
This was the
where,
word. Guess was a cold.
yeah, where companies had to sign something about the transgender coming into work. And, you know, it was the same law about how you can't fire somebody who sees themselves as gay because it's being looked at discrimination.
Yeah, and it's infringing on their human rights.
Exactly. So now what's going to happen when you sitting comfortably at work, and you know, at work, what's the percentage of female workers, you know, the same way we have the BEE, you know, we're fighting for all those things. So what's going to happen tomorrow if a whole company just has that and says, yeah, but we have women here?
Yeah. Because now it's
We allowing
you're
it.
allowing it because you're saying that it's a fact that if I identify as someone else, that means it's set in stone. That's who the person is, and they can come out tomorrow and say that. But we have filled our percentage for women when in fact they're just all men. They're just
My point
transgender.
exactly. So I'm saying that's what disturbed me the most, if
Yeah.
I can be honest about this year. That as much as things are sick in what's happening,
Yeah.
the fact that you're telling me, because let's keep in mind, we're not telling a man you can't call yourself a man, but yet there's transgender to the other side as well.
Yep.
There's women transgending into men, but we're not telling men don't call yourself a man.
Yep.
Don't say you stand and be. Let's all sit and be. Do you get what I'm trying to say? I'm just trying to bring across a
Yeah.
point of what is it that we so harsh on the woman, and what is it that we're trying to take away so badly?
I see exactly what you're saying, and it becomes a matter of irritation for me because, I mean, the female rights movement, female activists, and all of that started back in the day because women were oppressed, you know, equal rights and all of that. But now you have men fighting to be a woman because now we must now equal. So what's the matter? But then, if we are equal, why not just stay in your own lane? Do you get what I'm saying? Why go through all the trouble to be something? And most of them are more women than we are. And what I mean by that is, I shouldn't say woman, I should say female, feminine than we are. That their nails are done longer than ours. Their hair is longer. The lashes are longer. You know, it's so over accentuated with a lot of them. So why are we overcompensating for something? Then just be who you meant to be. Why step into someone else's? And now we are forced because now there's a reflection. Now, am I hearing something?
Sorry, it's Isaiah's going to toilet.
Me thinking it's a guitar chord.
School app.
But there's my train of thought now.
Yeah, sorry. I was watching something also. It was an interview where they were asking somebody. This person wasn't transgender or anything, but this person was standing up for we all equal and be who you want to be, and let's not be call ourselves women and stuff. But it was mainly in the sports industry, and the guy was asking, so what's the Floyd guy boxer's name?
Floyd Mayweather.
Mayweather. Floyd. So he was saying we do know that it's safe to say Floyd is the greatest in the time now. So he was asking, so if Floyd decides today he wants to be a woman and he joins the women's boxing,
Does he get to be the
does he
greatest
get
in
to
the
be
female?
the greatest in the female? How is that fair?
Yeah. Yeah, but that is literally the logic that's happening in today's life. And
With that box, can you imagine?
and you will destroy. You can kill a woman. I mean, that's what happened in the mixed martial arts. I mean, isn't the champion now also some transgender who decided he wants to be a woman, and now he's. I mean, tomorrow any guy can decide he's just a woman, and then he's just the best at. Even in Formula One, which is a driving, it's not a contact sport. But if Hamilton
Which
decides
makes it
tomorrow,
funny though. If Hamilton decides tomorrow he wants to be
a
a
female.
female, he can go to but your F1 they don't the F1
Yeah.
woman they don't pass 69.
Yeah, they don't.
They drive really slow.
But what I'm saying is he'll crush them there.
They'll crush them.
Given that a lot of these UAE countries is not going to accept it, but I'm just saying by the logic the rest of the world is. I mean, we had the whole Qatar situation where they had actually deported people who came into the country and decided that they're going to stand for the rainbow flag, and they were deported, and people were like, half of the people were like, yeah, good, they're so brave, and a lot of these other people were saying that, how is that brave? Why don't they go take up a gun and go fight in the Russian war, go help Ukraine or whatever? How is that even brave for standing for something that half the world really thinks is just delusion? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, the logic we're going by is just, it's just unable to can. It's just really not making sense. Because the whole thing was, we were watching that clip of this guy. They both transgender. So the guy decided to be a woman and the woman decided to be a guy. And they had a baby because the transgender guy is
Female.
biologically female. So she
can carry, she
can carry the baby. But where the sick part of this whole thing comes in. They're expecting the biological male to breastfeed this child. And they're saying, no, the baby latched, but they'll just keep on trying. They'll just
And
keep
there
on
is
trying.
something coming out because I did watch something similar. But the doctors are saying, how is that safe? Because it's all the
So
what's that
it is
called?
an anomaly. There are some men that do lactate, but it's not the same as
It's
breast
not milk, yeah.
It's not the same as breast milk.
And they were saying also with everything that you take to transform,
Yes.
you sending all of that
That
into
hormones
the,
and all of
into
that.
the baby.
Yes, it's not safe, first of all. Second of all, the child is starving. How is that not child neglect and child abuse? Like, explain to me how. And it's based on that we're now saying that you can't say breastfeeding, you have to say chest feeding. When really you are abusing a child that didn't ask to be here. Like, I think
Some men have breast.
some men do have breasts. Let's not get it twisted.
Let's just keep it to breast. And those who are chest feeding, are you not now having breast to?
All I'm saying is that I'm with Ben Shapiro on this one. These people need counseling. They really do need counseling because remember, there's now. If you are in your own space and it's just you.
He's trying to cancel Yay at the moment, so I don't know how I feel about him.
I didn't know that, but I'm a Yay supporter, so yeah.
That's why I'm saying I don't know how I feel about that.
let's just stick to that. But I'm saying they need counseling because the reality of the matter, it is delusion. There's something not clicking right in this person's head. And if you are in your own space and those are the decisions you make for yourself, I'm okay with that. But as soon as there are kids involved, as soon as there are other people involved,
Also, I'm a firm believer of be who you want to be because it's up to you. The same way I believe to be Christian, the same way I believe with my morals and my standards, everybody has the right to choose their own morals and their own standards and what they believe. But I'm saying, then let's not force it on everybody else. Stay in your belief the same way you wouldn't like me to Bible bash you.
yeah.
Because that's also something, I'm Christian, but there's many Christians where you just speak to them and they try to shove the Bible in your mouth and you're also like, my guy, calm down.
Calm down. Like, really. And I think a lot of that goes into, and just as a side note, I know this is a little off topic, but the other day I was thinking, and Xavier said something very important, interesting in a different show, and he was speaking about, him and Andrew were speaking about how, how Megan, not Megan Fox, what's it, Megan and Machine Gun Kelly, I think is it the two of them that are together?
She is Fox, isn't she?
Yeah, she is Fox. And they were basically mocking the most sacred.
Yeah, I sent Xavier the video.
Yeah, that.
So he said he's going to have a show.
Right. But what stood out for me was the rainbow flag. And what is the purpose and what was the creation of the rainbow, the rainbow itself? God had destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. And that was a promise. And what happened in Sodom and Gomorrah was all of the crap that's happening now.
It's surprising someone said the other day, because did you see that one video in the past they're telling you about accepting how we can learn about the flag and whatnot in church. And then the lights literally go off, but like there's a thunder and it goes back on and he says, guys, that's not God's judgment. And the guy's like,
sure?
well, if you had to say that, are you sure it's
You
not
sure?
God's judgment? But what I'm trying to say is the fact that wait, what were you saying now?
I was saying that God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah because what was happening.
So then you were saying we're living in that exact times and we must be careful that with us looking back the way they did, we mustn't
Full as of
mistake
salt.
that. Yeah.
But what's interesting is, and this is where I take big offense. What's interesting, that was a promise that God will never flood the earth again, right? To basically eradicate that. And they're using that very symbol of promise to advertise and use it as their emblem for catching on absolutely nonsense.
Do you know how many times I want to put a rainbow in my emoji? And then I'm like, I don't want to give the wrong impression.
And you know what? It's a biblical symbol of hope and peace.
It is.
But what they've done is they've done that as sheer mockery to our belief. But we're not allowed to say anything because what are we? We're homophobic and we what? It's hate speech. But you're infringing on something that has always been a belief for the longest time. And which is why, there's a lot of pros and cons and all of that. But with the Qatari right now, they don't take that. It's just us. that take that sort of like, we're okay, yeah, we're not allowed to do this, and we bend to that. And do you get what I'm saying? And with that, our voices get taken. Why? Now we can't say we're a
But
woman.
this
Now
is
we
my
can't.
thing as a Christian, right? I think we take too far when it talks about grace and loving your neighbor. I believe you can love with all the greatest love, but you don't have to accept. And that's where we make the
That's
mistake.
very true.
Because we love by accepting, and you don't have to accept
No.
to love. It's the same way you will always love your child. But let's say, for example, your child is a murderer.
You're
You
not gonna
don't
love
have
the
to
fact.
accept
Yes.
the fact that they're a murderer, but it's your child.
Exact. And that's what I always say. That when we do address this situation, I don't hate the person. I absolutely love the person, which is why they're allowed to come into church. But the act of sin, that act is what we don't condone. It's the same thing, you going out and having a drinking spree or whatever, or you having a promiscuous lifestyle or whatever. That doesn't mean we shun you as a person, but the act of the sin, that is what we shun.
I always tell my friends that's playing for the other team. I always say, I love you as a person,
Yeah.
and we still chill and everything like that. But
And they're great people.
Let's not engage in your boyfriend or girlfriend conversation.
Yes.
The same way I do with my friends. I've had a friend that didn't speak to me for like 3 years because I didn't agree with her boyfriend, which was a straight couple, but I didn't agree with the boyfriend and the way they were living their life and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And she found offense in that and didn't speak to me for the longest time. But what I'm saying is, we're still friends. The only thing is now we just don't speak about relationships,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. And funny enough, when all they hit the fan, she came back to actually apologize and say, sorry, what
I
you
now see
said,
this.
I didn't see those red flags. And that's with a normal relationship. So anything else, I feel the exact same way. I can be friends with you. We can have coffee, we can chill, go for drinks, whatever it may be. But there's certain conversation that I'm not comfortable with. It's the same if I had a friend who is sleeping with a married man. Do you get what I'm trying
It's the
to say?
exact same concept.
It's the same concept. I'm not going to entertain you.
Yep. I'm not going to condone what you're busy doing.
Yeah, but I'm still going to see you as a person.
I'm still going to see you as a person. And that is what our belief is based on. I'm supposed to love you. Because that's how God loves us. We're supposed to love regardless, but that doesn't mean we condone and we're okay with whatever else
And that's, I
we're
think, where
catching
the
on.
mistake is. So I am saying I am a woman. Let me be.
I so knew you were going to sing that. You're so predictable in that space.
That's Isaiah's fault. But yeah. Okay, moving along from the bads
Okay, but you go first with the good.
with the good.
Yeah,
I've just been speaking for a whole hour.
That's okay. You can go on speaking.
You're thinking now, what's your good first?
Yeah, I did open up and say I'm still not sure what my good is, but it will come to me.
It will come to you. Okay, for me, my good is actually something personal, right? It's not whatever happened in the world and whatnot. And let's not even go with my bad when it comes to Balenciaga. It's rubbish. But
I still wanted to do some research on that because I was confused. Because you said something, Xavier said something, and Xavier's like, no, that's not what happened. Go do the research because I confused the
no,
two
maybe
things.
you misunderstood what I said.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I
we'll
think
speak
that-
about it afterwards. But it's just rubbish all the way. But anyway, my good for 2022, for me personally, it's really something personal, and it is what's the word? My personality, in terms of I feel like I've grown so much in 2022. So many things I set forth, I accomplished, and certain things like that. But my biggest thing was a lot happened this year that would make me feel down, as we not
And you handled it
and
differently.
I handled it. Yeah,
Okay.
I've walked like as in I don't care, moving on with life. Let's go on, kind
You
of a
didn't
thing.
wallow in it.
I didn't, and usually I would first try and figure out, is there something wrong with me? Why is this happening? And you go through that whole stage. But it's the first time in my life where even when someone tries to wrong me, I'll just be like, oh, I want peace, I want peace. This time I'm like,
I woke up and I chose
screw.
violence.
Yeah, I really said this year was 1 year for me where I feel like I grew into myself so much where I don't accept crap anymore. In terms of usually I would just do the whole just smile and wave
And pretend like nothing's wrong.
pretend like nothing's wrong. But this year I really feel like I stood my ground in certain things, and then as well as when it not comes to other people, but like certain things around the house, when it's financial difficulties, or you have an argument with your partner, or it's a bit difficult with the kids or something like that. I feel like I've grown a hell of a lot, and I'm proud of myself for taking a stance, because where many people didn't, they feel like they wallowed more into self-pity and the mental health and all of those things. I feel like I've gotten out of it, and I feel good. You know what I would now.
I think for
So
me,
good.
we'll give you your moment.
I don't know the rest of the words.
Leandra, can you please play our song for us, please, so we can have a young vibe? Yeah. I think for me, I think it's just to be alive. I think that is a very big highlight for me, and I'm grateful that I still have a job. I'm grateful that I still have a side hustle, and also that we've been able to maintain this year in a lot of aspects, because this year I think in general for most people was hard. People lost stuff, people lost homes, people lost cars, people lost jobs. Does it mean we didn't have tough times this year? No, we did. It did, but we made it. I mean, we did the story. Was it last week when we did the story of Shankwela? She didn't make it out. She had friends. She didn't make it out till the end of the year. This year we've had so many funerals. I know of my friend who is busy burying her best friend this weekend. So it's life in general, and that we're able to, despite the pressure that the family has faced, we've made it out to the end of the year. We're still in celebratory mode all the way. And I think that is a one highlight for me. And oh yes, and my baby girl's been keeping her grades up above 90. So me being a proud mom out here, yeah, she be my child, So me being a proud mom in that aspect, and that we really are here, and then also that I'm extremely grateful for the people that are around me. I was once again reminded that a lot of the times we think certain people are a certain way, but our family base is so tight that you can only appreciate one another, that we really there, we tight knit to catch each other. And that for me, and that means on both sides of my family, whether it be on Xavier's side, which is you guys, or whether it be on my mother's side. And once again, like it's like we really have a tight knit, and for that I'm great. It's an actual highlight for me. I must say I'm grateful for that.
Okay. We were discussing every topic as it goes, but now you just brushed that so quickly. So
No, but there's still a lot of highlights.
no, I mean in terms of when we spoke about your bad, we spoke in general as well. When we spoke about the bad, we spoke in general as well.
Oh, you mean
the
to
way I
expand it?
usually do, and then you just went off and changed the whole subject, and was like, okay, time, guys, time. Are we done?
I think there's a lot more highlights to speak about. Hi, shameless. I keep it to one. I was expecting you to go into another one, but here we are. And
No, I meant in general, like when we spoke about death, we spoke about memories, and
Yeah.
then we just expanded a bit more. So, in terms of, okay, let me go back then, and then let me expand on mine before we go to yours, because there's still a few minutes left.
Okay.
Okay. So in terms of personality or thingy in general, how it feels good to get to a point when you feel good about yourself, if that makes sense.
I hear what you're saying, and I think a lot of the year, or rather in the beginning of the year, remember we were speaking about, self-love and all of that, and I think that really did help for me personally as well, to sort of like be kinder on yourself throughout the year, to stand for what you really believe in. Because a lot of the time something happens, and then you take it in, and then you get home, and then you complain to your husband. You're like, they did this again to me now. I must, and then you need to get back, which is it's a good bounce off, because then your husband can help you. Well, my husband helps me to come back into line and say, yeah, but what about this? What about that? Maybe you should look at this. But what that does is that it actually helps you to realize your strengths and who you are, and stick to that and stand up, like you were saying. I think this year for me, it's like, usually I'd like to say something back. For me, I just kept quiet, and I'm unaffected by it. Like, sometimes there's no need for me to spark an argument. Usually I would be ready to answer you back, and like guns blazing, because someone said something or someone did something to me. But this year, I think for me, the way I matured,
I'm laughing because something happened recently where you were guns blazing, but at least just in the house.
Recently?
I'll tell you afterwards what it was, and you're like, I won't. But anyway, go
Okay, I
on.
can't remember. But for the most part, for the most part
It's
for
something
me,
personal that can't really go on air, but
okay, for the most part for me, it's like,
keeping intact though with what you were saying, that you go home and you bounce it off there before you attack.
yeah, before you attack, like to my husband, I share my husband doesn't get the quiet. He gets the because he needs to know my thoughts so that he can calm my thoughts. And he knows in the mornings, I share him, and he's a slow waker. Like he wakes up slowly in the
A
morning.
slow waker.
Yeah, and I wake up, and when I'm awake, I'm awake. I don't need time to, and I wake up like at 5. Then he's still like an hour and a half still simmering, and by the time he opens his mouth, I'm on top of him, guns blazing. He's like, "Yo, give me a chance." I'm like, "No, I need to get this off my mind so that I can get my day started." And then he will sort of like, mellow it down, get the frustration down and whatnot. And sometimes we both there for each other, which is a good thing for me, because if I have to keep up my frustration and let it go in public, I do not want I do not want to be you in the presence. I do know my fury can go further than that. So yeah. So recently for me, that has been a growth aspect. To just sometimes you don't need to say anything. Just keep quiet and just walk out. It's not necessary.
Now, for me, it was again the other way around.
Yeah.
I've been doing it for years, and you've been forcing me to do something
Like-
about it, and now I finally did something about it. I feel so good. I'm gonna start singing again.
Well done, well done. I am proud of you. There were just times, and there was a specific moment in the beginning of this year, and he was like, to say something. And I was sitting there, and I was ready to get out. And I was sitting in the car, and this moment was until we were at this event, and I could hear something happening there. But I'm thinking, this is not your space. It's not your business. Keep quiet. Just sit here in the car. And I could hear something happening there. And I'm like, say something. Why don't you say something? Yeah. But you've moved on
I've
from that.
moved on. I now say a lot. Now I oversay. We'll get next year will be the balance.
Next year will be the moderation. Let's not rush things.
Next year will be the balance. And then, okay, going into being happy to be alive and stuff like that. That is one thing. If you see how short life is lately, it's something that is really grateful. You have to be so grateful to see another day every day.
Every day. And I'm not even talking about what happened in COVID and all of that. I'm just talking about in general. And you still see, every time you go on Facebook, you still see everyone's post coming up, rest in peace, and these are young people. These are really young people, and strange. And because of the sick world we live in, the things you see about kids, things happening to kids, and you see rest in peace, and it's just so much. And you're like, we only have our faith in God to protect our kids, because the reality of the matter, you can put your kids in the safest schools, you can do things happen. It's the world out there. But I'm absolutely grateful that God has kept us through this year. Having our loved ones close that have been put under immense pressure, and you're like, how is this person not having a heart attack? How is this person not having a stroke? Because I'm going ballistic here, and I'm just in the sidelines. I'm just experiencing some of the aftershock waves. I'm not even experiencing the full blow of what just happened. And then you're grateful that God has kept this person, because having experienced loss, you're constantly watching them to see if they're okay. Why are they so calm? Why do they look so peaceful? I'm then going ballistic here. And for that, I'm grateful that we're able to still carry on as a family in general. And whether it be on my Namibian side of the family, whether it be here, because even on my Namibian side of the family, and I'd call my mother and I'd be frantic, and she's like, why are you being frantic? You worry, you die. You don't worry, you die anyway. And they're experiencing the brunt, and they're like, God has kept us. God is faithful to who He is and His word. So He's not going to put you in a different space. He's not going to let you down. You just need to learn to trust the process. That's it. And it's been a hard journey to trust the process, but we're here.
Trusting. I mean, sister girl. Young sermon.
A yell preaching. Thank you. Can we take up the offering now?
From who? Me.
My audience. Where's Leandro? Where's the producer?
The e-wallet.
Guys, I will drop the e-wallet for our offering.
But yeah, coming to the end of the show, what's one thing you're really looking forward to?
Breakthrough. Like, I've been saying that I'm excited, and the reason why is because something happened a month or two back in my mother's business, and things weren't going well. But a breakthrough came in that. And when that breakthrough came and exposure came through that, things flipped for her business. And I feel like we are in that space where things are busy breaking for us in the spirit, where the flip is about to happen for us in the spirit. And I don't feel that just personally for us. Feel that in general. And that's just me. I'm no prophet. I'm no, well, technically I can be a prophet because for life and death is in the power of the tongue. So I will go
And
by
you
that.
can just go get a certificate somewhere.
I can download it actually.
You can download a prophetic certificate.
I can. I mean, then I'll be certified. But I feel like I am so excited for 2023 and breakthroughs, for new beginnings. I'm going to be a mom of two kids in
I was
big
about
school
to
now.
say, is another one coming. The way you're about to say, I'm
No.
about to be a mama
No.
of school.
No.
I was waiting
Two
for the
kids.
three.
Two kids. I can be a godmom if that's what you guys want, but that's it. I did have a funny dream the other day about having a third child, but it didn't look like a proper child. It looked like a spiritual child. So we'll go with that.
To be a money baby.
You know what? I'll accept that. That word of prophecy is the one I'll accept. But what I am looking for, and growth in that sense, and I do believe that we're going to go forward and experience more breakthroughs. And for that, and I know that sounds super spiritual, which I'm generally not, but I feel not as spiritual as that the whole time, guys. Bail me out, yeah. But yes, we are spiritual beings, so yes, I'll take them out. So I'm excited for that, and I think in a lot of areas, and not just finances. I don't just mean finances. I feel like on achievement levels as well. Whether it be my business, I do see certain things happening in the business for myself, but I won't share. I won't overshare. It will happen next year. Let's give the year to time to start, so we have something to speak about when we come back. And for you?
Yeah, I feel like the same. I keep telling Ashley, you know that when you can taste success.
Yeah, but you
It's a
see,
weird
you can't
feeling.
explain
You
it.
can't explain
Yeah.
it, but you can like taste it.
We're almost there.
You're
We're almost there.
Oh, but then if something happens, you question your faith and you start praying again, and you like don't don't
Don't
lose
give up.
hope. Don't lose
But
hope.
you know what the strange thing what that does to me? Because I growing up, it gets worse before it gets better. So that just means hey, it's going to be so much bigger. It's like it's just
But I literally, I taste the success. Praying for the success and everything like that. But yeah, like with everything else, my friend Candace, was saying to me the other day, my friend, guess what? Remember, I think it was 2021. Remember we made that whole vision board and everything. It was actually in 2020. She's like, we made this vision board and everything. And I was like, yeah, I remember it. She's like, remember I cut out everything? I'm like, yeah. She's like, do you know this month every single thing on that board happened? And I was like,
and you get
kudos.
excited.
You get excited
yeah.
to the point that I did the same thing. It's my screensaver. It's printed at home. It's, because many times I write things down, but I don't literally have it in front of me every day that I can
It's not like a
basically
constant
manifest on
reminder.
it every day, or because you when you pray, things change, and then you forget what you prayed for in January. By March there's a new dream, and
and also there's a new need, so you kind of jump onto that.
And that's why I feel also sometimes we're so slow to get our blessing, because we're constantly jumping from one thing to another thing. God's still working on the first thing we prayed for, and now you're already bringing something new to the table. Did we now just forget the first thing? And I feel like all those things are really working for thy good. It's intentional.
I'm happy for that vibes. I
feel
really
like
am.
karaoke.
You see, we should have had a young karaoke. I shame you guys don't want that. None of the views will come back if I have to. But I'm really happy for the good vibes that we've got going, and then seeing it into the next year. I mean, we've got one more month left, and that still means
We're in that last month.
we're still in the last month, and God can still do a lot. God still, He's showing up every day. So there's no time limit on anything,
And people don't lose hope now during December. I see everybody is
Ooh,
posting the
Stick to your faith, guys.
everybody is posting they feel the festive vibes. Please feel the festive in a sane environment. Feel the festive in a sane mind. All those kind of things, and don't lose hope.
Because then
Don't lose yourself,
we
man.
we really do appreciate the numbers in January, but don't come because you have a guilty conscience because of what you've been catching on throughout December.
What you talking about now?
I'm talking about when we lose our minds in December.
Oh, okay.
And then come January, then we all come back to repent because we were catching on in December. So what I'm saying is keep it sane out. Come through and come expected and get your breakthrough. But don't come because you have a guilty
Your
conscience.
breakthrough might even happen during the festive.
And just keep it going, positive vibes and good faith vibes.
Yeah, I'm there. We're all here for the good vibes. We were supposed to have balloons today, but the balloons is non-existent. We were supposed to have cake today, but the cake is non-existent.
It's not.
But
We're very spiritual today, so
we're
today it's in
moving.
the spiritual realm.
Did you seriously say the balloons and the cake is in the spiritual realm?
I did.
Okay. En with that, we stand terug met 'n dankbare hart. Thank you so much for joining us on another episode of the Gabfest. It is the last one for the year. But we shall see you in, I think, in January, Lee. In Jan. The what? We don't know yet.
In
The
February.
week after the 9th.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll see you then.
The 18th. The week of
Stay
the
blessed.
18th.
Have a very, very good festive season. Scarlett says she has 11 things on her Christmas list.
Good luck to you.
The first 3 things is a laptop, an iPhone, and a PlayStation. I told her she
Good
can
luck
only
to
choose one. And then she says, yeah, but you're not buying it. Santa is buying it. Luckily, Ma was there, and Ma said, there's so many kids in the world.
Yeah, I've been telling my
There's
kids the
so
same
many
things.
kids in the world. You're only allowed to get one gift from Santa and one gift from Mom and Dad.
Trusted to
So-
choose a brand new iPhone or MacBook.
No. Chances are she'll even ask for a TV.
The way my child is still begging me, and this time she put it on Santa's list. She wants a big Minnie Mouse car like Scarlett, but she wants the one with the 2 seats, so she wants the bigger one.
Yeah, because Scarlett was still, 3, 4 when she got that one?
Yes,
Yeah.
and they're much taller, and that means it's 3 times the. So Ma's like, woo, this is too big for Santa to bring around.
Santa can't carry that in his thing. But guys, hope you have a blessed season, a good one. Keep shining, man. Keep shining. And we hope to see you next year. And if we see you around in the by the ways, let's say hello. You want to say goodbye?
Goodbye.
See you guys next year. Ciao.
Bye.